Hey Jason, welcome to GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your dress position, let's just take a look at your posture. Your spine's nice and straight and on a tilt, but it's too vertical. Your legs come down into possibly a little bit too much of a bent position. And then you hold your arms out in front of you too much with the club working down to the ball, almost virtually appearing like it's in a straight line from this vantage point. So if I were to work on your golf game, very simply what we would do is take your tail, we would push it out and up. We would take your sternum, push it out, up, and forward. And ultimately what that's going to do is just going to increase the angle to your spine here. Okay? By getting your tail out and up, that's going to straighten your legs a little, so now our legs can just be unlocked. They don't have to be bent. We won't sit anymore. That'll change the weight displacement a little bit more forward because your sternum and your head are going to be more out over your toes, and you won't be sitting because the legs won't be bent. At this point in time, because we have the spine more angled, we can let our arms hang down more naturally, let the golf club work out to the ball, and increase the angle relationship between the arms and the golf club in here. Okay, so we do have to take you from the red starting position that you're in, and we do have to get you into yellow. Very important to re-establish your starting position, your posture, and all the angles, because the reality is the golf swing functions and develops off that starting position. Okay, from here, just taking a look, we can also take a look at alignment from this vantage point. But the reality is you're pretty good alignment. We can see your feet running in this direction. Carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera have an appearance to converge. So, I mean, you're pretty much set up right down the center of the fairway. So, no real issues there. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison. And we'll bring up a model swing of Jordan Spieth. And what we want to take a look at is we want to take a look at Jordan's takeaway here. He's going to turn his shoulders, he's going to draw his arms and hands back as well as his golf club. We want to see the club coming back along the red line on plane. Also in the early stages of the golf swing, what we want to see is we want to see some wrist hinge occur. So that means we want to take the club head from being below and in front of our hands and moving that club head so it's now above and behind our hands, and that's done through creating wrist hinge. From here we want to move the golf club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, the left arm and the club either need to be situated on the yellow line, anywhere in between this blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue as we see with Jordan Spieth. We want full shoulder rotation, and we want to do this about a very stable right leg while maintaining the spinal axis that we achieved with our posture. Okay? So notice, he has not moved his spine. He's just simply rotated off of the axis that he achieved at address. So go back down to address. Guess what? Spine's in the same spot. So when we create this backswing, we're rotating off that axis. That's why it's so important. So you're going to be, creating a golf swing that's going to function off an axis that's just too tall. Not to mention we're bending the knees, we're sitting, and we're pronating the hands and arms. The other thing I want to make commentary on before we go ahead and pull the club back is not only do we need to change the posture, but we have to take a look and change your grip. Our hands are not on the golf club correctly, so that's definitely something we want to adjust as well. Anyways, let's draw the golf club back and let's see sort of what happens. So you pull your hands back, you pull them back beautifully around you nicely. We're starting to create some good wrist hinge into play, even though we don't have a proper grip. And I really like this position. I mean, we're turning your shoulders, your arms are getting in a reasonably decent position relative to your core. Again, you can see that you're functioning off of a posture that just doesn't look like it's supposed to be where it's supposed to be, right? So, but you've done the best you can do. I mean, you've turned. Your arms are still in good position. Your club's in good position to your arms. But you're still sitting and you're very tall in your spine. So as we create our downswing, we simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. We want to fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target. We want to unwind our core and fire our hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from wherever we set it within that blue-yellow V zone. We want to make sure that we're bringing the golf club back down onto red. And that's exactly what we're seeing here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club has returned back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead form and the club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. Simply means that the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the hitting zone. This is ultimately what's going to give us a lot of power. Let alone, he's also going to have the ability to hit the ball straight due to the fact that, again, the club has returned back to plane, and this is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. So let's watch you create your transition back into the ball. Excellent dropping of your hands and arms, superb right here. Basically, we can look at this position and basically, you know, you look at your lead form and you look at your golf club, and guess what? We've got a backwards check mark. So you're going to create some power in your golf swing. So one other thing I want to sort of do here, or what I got to do, is I got to take you back down to the dress. And again, if we revise your starting position, and I mentioned that, you know, we're going to get our arms to hang down more naturally. And let me undo that and put that in yellow. We're going to let the arms hang down more naturally, and we're going to let the golf club work out to the golf ball. Well, you need to see that the shaft angle of your golf club would now be at 40 degrees. Okay? So the reality is, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a red line over top of that, because that's actually the red line we want to be looking at. When we're bringing the golf club back or down, it has no bearing on red line 1, okay? Because you've put the shaft of the club out of position. Your entire golf swing is actually based off of red line 2, because that's where the shaft of the club should be when you're addressed. So what we want to do now is we want to bring you back, and we want to come down back to that pre-impact position where we got the backwards check mark, okay? So what we would be looking at here at this point in time is we'd be looking at the club head. And we'd basically be saying, hey, is that club head returning back on a plane like Jordan Spieth? And what we can see is, yeah, it is. It's very, very close. Okay, so if we look at it based on line red 1, you're underneath your plane. But you're not underneath your plane because that's not the right address plane. So you're slightly still on top of your plane, just like Jordan Spieth. So you're in a perfect position here. So let's just continue to track this club head coming into the ball. We'll go to the next frame. There it is. Club falls right on the plane. We come into the ball. Everything's beautiful. Okay? So the reality is, if we were to track the club head coming into the golf shot, we can clearly see that, I mean, this golf club is coming into the ball pretty much from an on-plane position. And I had stipulated that this is what produces straight golf shots in accordance to our alignment. So Jordan Spieth, he's coming to the ball directly from the red line, just like you. So he's going to hit the ball straight based on where he's aimed, as long as the club face squares up via having a good grip. So you're going to have the ability also to hit the ball straight based on your alignment. And we had noticed that your alignment was fine. So the last element here is, does the club face square up? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at your move to the finish first. Does your right heel come off the beautiful. Okay, so your right heel comes off the ground, you get through to the finish. So really the only thing I want to look at, just that pre-impact here, is I just really want to pay attention to, okay, what did your club face do at impact? So let's take a look. So club face is shutting down. I don't know if it fully squared up at the ball. So ball looks like it's being hit a hair right of your alignment. And yeah, there's a little bit of left to right spin, so you're going to lose that ball a little right. So that ball's probably going to find the water. Just barely, okay? But if there was no water and the fairway were to continue all through here, you would find your intended target somewhere in this zone. So overall, I mean, you got a really good looking golf swing. It's super athletic. Your hands come back, they fire through. Your core works well. You coil back, you uncoil through. You got good footwork, allowing you to get through to a good finish. It's superb. Your alignment's good. Your downswing plane's good. Club face position isn't too bad. It's a little open through impact. Maybe you have to take a look and see why. But the three things that create consistency are good aim, good downswing plane, and good club face position. You have good aim, you have a good downswing plane. Unfortunately, you associated a little bit of an open face, and that caused a little bit of a leaking shot to the right. The biggest thing for you is visually, and to help your golf swing overall, it really is, it's just your starting position. So fix up your posture balance based on what I described early on in this video and do what you're doing and everything will be great. I think obviously very important too is you do have to learn to get a good grip, okay? Because I think your grip is producing that bad club face position at impact, okay? A lot of potential here because again, you got some great athletic ability, but we do have to improve your static position for sure. Anyways, if at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a program for you. Don't hesitate to contact me, and we can put a little program together for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking to provide your guests with a unique gift, feel free to touch base, and I'll be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, I hope you had a fabulous day, and I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.